grid, stand up. SBC, Black Elvis, Roddy, OG, it's wavy. Look, started from the bottom, so we off the grid. Tryna make it to the top, we soon live off the grid. Had dreams of making teams, I was just a kid. But we off the grid, yeah, we off the grid. On the come up, so we off the grid. Had dreams of the league, we was all just kids. And the bullets from the underground, they often miss. The podcast bringing light, so they don't call it quits. Now pass the rock, I'm open on the 10. They call me wavy in the red zone for the win. Then do your dance on them, raise the roof, we got the fans roaring. Catch a pick and then do it again. Chicago ain't my home, but I can't bear to see us lose. Playing rough like MSC.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Off the Grid. I'm your host, Kamish, along with my boys, D-Dub and Roddy. What's going on today, fellas?
Doing great.
Slow but steady wins the race. All good.
And doing great because we got some football. Let's clap it up. No? Clap. I mean, there was two games. I'm gonna ask y'all who y'all think won or what happened in between the little games before I say the scores and all of that. But starting the podcast with my dad and the commission really just came from my dad calling me or talking to me one day about it and saying, look, he has some opportunities for me to be able to have my own podcast and share it with some guys. And at first I said, yeah, not really thinking of how big it could really get or be. And I accepted it. And then as I think we moved forward, it started to really become like, rather than a dream, it was a reality now, right? We started putting out content, and I think we're doing a good job of doing that. And just by us trying to serve the community and just do better, I think that's one of my goals, just being able to give what I have, a little bit of what I have, and even with the commission, my pops, them just giving what they have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We had two games. I want to ask you guys how you guys thought the games went. Iona played Kellenberg, and Kennedy Catholic played St. Dominic. I'm not familiar with St. Dominic per se, but what do y'all think happened?
I'll stay away from the Iona prep because I had the cheat sheet. I actually made it out to Long Island for the second half of that
I didn't even know that.
Off the grid in its beginnings. Wow. So where do I start? I've had a couple of conversations over the course of the years with coaching friends, with colleagues, co-workers. I just felt like we always talk about sports and we have these great dialogues and great conversations that I believe that the public would be interested in. Being a coach, I also have had the advantage of hearing varying perspectives. You have different personalities. People feel different ways about different things. And I just think that it's important for us as a community, a football community, a New York City community, to talk about things. Whether we agree, whether we disagree, the dialogue is important. So for me, that was part of the motivation. And then that coupled with the fact that my son came to me one day and said that he wanted to study communications and, possibly go to college to study being in the media world. I'm a person that's all about practical training, hands-on training. So this gave me an opportunity yet again to work on something with my son, both of my sons actually. And I'm all about that. Anybody that knows me knows that that's a very big component for me. So, Off the Grid was a concept, and, we've been able to execute it on what I feel is a pretty decent level. And the future looks bright. We continue to try to get better week in and week out, and we're looking forward to continuing to deliver good content. But
He told me who won. Sorry.
Oh, so it's
with
St. Dominic and
Kennedy Catholic and St. Dominic. I
played Kennedy Catholic before lacrosse. I never played them in football, so.
Yeah, I've actually I met the coach at Kennedy Catholic once or twice. I know we had some all-star game practices back before you started high school. He definitely came down to the city to do some recruiting. Kudos to coach at Kennedy Catholic. We like it when guys come down to look for our city kids and give them opportunities.
Definitely.
I'll go with Kennedy Catholic.
Out of those two? Yes. So Iona beat Kellenberg.
Understatement, but yeah.
42-7. So, yeah, Darius went 15 for 18, which is, sheesh, 200 plus yards. He had 4 touchdowns. One was to Williams, another to Jolly, Stone, and Rotella. And I'm just saying last names. I don't want to butcher anybody's names. And then McFadden ran for 50 yards. He had 5 carries. And yeah, they won 42-7. And then Kennedy Catholic won 35-0. And they were led by James Brown, who had four receptions for almost 100 yards. He had 98. And then Clayton Proctor, who had 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
good stuff.
And we looking forward to all the games that are gonna come up next too.
Yes. I think
there was even a little poll that came out. Standing wise,
I think people that live in the metro area impacted by not being able to play are not too thrilled, but we get it. You only rank the people that are competing.
I mean,
Come on. You gave it up for 10 episodes. You got to eat this one.
No,
man.
I'm eating it, but they're not playing. So yes, right? Don't put them in. But am I not in the Catholic high school league anymore? If you're gonna put me last, then that's cool because I'm not playing. But I can't even get my name entered. I get it though.
I'm not going to get into those semantics. Rankings are all opinion polls. We can do a ranking if we want.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, we did actually.
Well, we need a new update. Off the Grid. Off the Grid started as a conversation between me and Dana. After we bonded a lot, just dealing in sports, talking in the hallways as most young men, African American men do. Came across to me that there was a need. There was a need in our communities to shed some light on youth football. And as a guy from the neighborhood who has been running a basketball program for the last 20 years, I thought there was something that we should have done, and we kind of dropped the ball on it. I had several kids come up to me during that time telling us that we've never done anything for kids in the football community because we were so caught up in the showboat basketball world. Made me feel bad, made me feel like we left some kids stranded. So in talking with Dana, we decided to come up with something, and I reached out to Elvis, who had the platform that we're on now, and it took off from there. So after talking about it, we put it into motion, and it's here, Off the Grid. Hope y'all like it.
It's our turn.
Gotta add Kennedy to that.
For me, I guess excited that there is some football being played in the metro area. Disappointed that, we didn't figure out a way to allow
everyone to participate.
Kids to still be able to benefit from that. But at the end of the day,
you gotta get it where you can get it.
You gotta get it where you can get it. Yep.
Cool.
Top of the morning, we out in Soundview Park with the Bronx Wolfpack President.
How you doing, guys? Coach Rob.
Vice President.
How you doing, Natasha Robinson?
All purpose right here, man.
Coach Malik.
So appreciate you guys taking some time out to talk with us. We're Off the Grid, and we're really just trying to bring exposure to youth football in the New York City area. This is a program that I'm impressed with because I've seen a lot of programs start up in the last 5 to 6 years, and everybody doesn't make it. So the fact that you guys have kids out here today is a testament to the work that you're putting in. And we just want to give you an opportunity to kind of speak to the community. So with COVID happening in the last year, I know it's been tough, it's been challenging. Talk to us about how some of those challenges have impacted your program and servicing the kids.
Yeah, so with COVID, one of the biggest issues we had is we completely shut down in 2020. The beginning of March, we started out ready to go, and then COVID happened pretty much the same time last year. So we completely shut down on all aspects. So to get us going back in 2021 and having success, it shows a lot of what us as young men and women are doing out here to the community. We're a community-based program out in Soundview Park, servicing each kids from 5 to 14 years old. And our purpose is pretty much getting the kids off the street.
Definitely a common theme, trying to keep kids engaged and active and off the streets and out of trouble. So Tasha, as a co-founder, talk to me about what the experience is like being in this testosterone-filled environment. You seem like you hold your own as a young lady, so talk to us about how that goes.
It's not easy, but I learned that it's about communicating and just respecting people where they are and not trying to be anybody's boss. We out here, we're a team, we're working together, and the only way we're going to get anything done is to communicate with each other and remember that we got to work together to get it all done. Because in the beginning, I thought that I could do it all, but there's a lot of moving pieces. that you need help, and it's not only women's help. It's not a woman or man job. It's like everybody needs to have a voice and everybody needs to be heard. And I think it's important for young girls to see that you can work with men in a positive environment and be successful and not take it personal, because you know you're always gonna have different ideas and different wants, but as long as you're listening to each other, you'll be able to get your goal accomplished. So the mission is to, you know, disseminate the prison pipeline. Like, and the only way we're gonna do that is by working together. If we're working against each other, then we're not going nowhere.
Agreed. That's heavy. I'm glad you touched on that, because, you know, youth sports, this kind of work is all about collaboration and really just giving something to the next generation of kids that we may not have, you know, ourselves. Mr. Brody, Lee, what's good, man?
Nothing much, man. I can't call it.
I seen this guy cut his teeth on the coaching field, and now you out here making moves.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, you gotta start somewhere in order for you to build. I mean, you know, this is my second home. This is my main home now, and you know, sky's the limit for the program. You know, coming back after a year off from COVID, you know, it's definitely a sight to see. It's a lot of new faces mainly, but the program still has the returning players. But it's a new start. You know, to something that we're trying to continue to build going forward throughout the years down the line. So we working, we hustling. We see it.
I got some great real estate here. How does it feel to have a home base, a park that's very serviceable? And you know, tell me how that impacts the program.
So, I mean, as far as it goes, having this facility is great for us. It's great for our parents. You know, that's the main thing that we always want to try to provide a service that will be comfortable for the parents. So this is definitely one of the main things that we look forward to every year. You know, whether it's this field or whether it's a different field we might choose, we want to make sure that it's comfortable for the parents.
So Rob, you know, programs like this run off of volunteerism. If there's a volunteer watching that's interested in being a part of your program, what's your message to them? What should they come prepared to do? What kind of spirit should they come in? If you could speak to potential volunteers, what would you want to get your message to them?
Yeah, so what we try to do is we always looking for volunteers. I think it's a great thing that we have out here. So if anyone's interested in becoming a coach, we take them with experience or no experience at all. The only thing we ask is just no egos and come out here with the willingness and trying to teach these kids the game, the X's and O's, and the game of football. My number's on our website if anyone doesn't have it. It's www.bronxsportshack.com. Just give us a call or reach out if you want to become a coach. Like I said, we take all newcomers. The only thing we ask is a positive attitude, positive atmosphere. Because our main goal and our only goal is to empower these kids and to get them to the next level, whether it's that next age group or high school or college. We're here to help them to the next age group.
Good stuff. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys giving us your time. I hope to be back out again in the future. You know, as a show, we outside and we're just trying to, you know, show the product, show what New York City football is. There's a lot of jokes out there about this being a basketball town. Jokes out there. There's real work being done in this landscape. We're trying to, you know, give some light to it. Thanks again for you guys' time. We appreciate
Thank you. Come check us out.
Right now. All right, thank you guys.
That was a good show. Thank you for coming through.
Definitely.
Another episode down, number 11. Shout out to everybody who's been paying attention and keeping us valid.
Keeping us alive, right? Indeed, indeed. We appreciate the listener viewer community. Continue to like, continue to subscribe, and continue to share. We out.
The game, we wasn't from the same hoods. The ball kept us off the block, had to try to remain good. Started from the bottom, so you know we off the grid. Trying to make it to the top, so we live off the grid. Had dreams of making teams, I was just a kid. Oh, we off the grid? Yeah, we off the grid.